Hi guys, welcome to another reading vlog where I challenge myself to read 200 pages every single day for a week. I am trying to get through my physical TBR, so I thought I could show some of those books that I have on my radar. Also, I'm going to be implementing audiobooks, Argue with the Wall, and my Kindle. A stack of books here, 5 of them to be specific, on my physical TBR on my radar. We have Legendborn by Tracy Deonn, Postgraduate by Ian Shane. Then we have Less by Andrew Sean Greer, Just Generation by Jonathan Haidt, and then How Does That Make You Feel, Magna Eklund. I'm currently 107 pages into the 200 pages I need to read today. It is Sunday. I'm also listening to Project Hail Mary. I'm gonna get the bulk of the reading done in this book because I want to finish this week. It is the end of day 1 of this challenge. I read Legendborn. I read 200 pages of it basically. I read from 212 to 416. I also read or listened to a little bit of Project Hail Mary. I think I started on page 192 and ended on page 214. In total, I've read 226 pages today. So far, well, obviously I'm like pretty far into the book. I only have like less than 100 pages left of Legendborn. I'm gonna read the back because I feel like I don't do books justice when I try and describe them on my own. The first 250 pages, I was like not really sold on it, but obviously now we are deep into the story and I just want to know what happens next. Currently making breakfast or waiting for my breakfast to be done, and I'm reading. It's now lunchtime. I actually just ate lunch and now I am reading Legendborn still. I have 50 pages left. I'm on chapter 50. A lot of things have been revealed. Almost made me cry last night when I was reading, so yay. And just like that, I'm done. Tracking all of the numbers on my computer. We started today at page 416 and obviously got to the end, which was 490. I listened to a little bit of Project Hail Mary this morning. I'm going to continue listening to that. It's 1:30, so I have plenty of time to read the other pages, but don't know how much I want to read right now, so might take a break. Today is now Tuesday. Like I said yesterday, I finished Legendborn and then I started Less by Andrew Sean Greer. Yesterday I read 206 pages, I think. I'll have the exact number on screen, but I read Legendborn, finished that, and then I started Less by Andrew Sean Greer. I read 29 pages of this, and then I also listened to Project Hail Mary for like 2 hours to get over the 100-page mark. So that is what my reading was yesterday. Today I went on a walk and I listened to Project Hail Mary a little bit more, and also I think I'm going to continue reading Less for now. This book is about this guy who's about to turn 50 and he gets a wedding invitation from his ex, and in order to say no to it, he basically says yes to all of his other prior commitments. So that takes him around the world. I am about to update my journal for the day. This is my journal. And I'm going to listen to the audiobook for Project Hail Mary. Right now, I think I have like 30 pages left of my 200-page goal today. I started a new book on my Kindle called The Rewrite because I just wanted like a fast, like easy romance. It is now Wednesday. Yesterday, I finished my 200 pages. Quite literally, I was crawling to the end because I was listening to my audiobook and I just wanted to go to sleep, but I also was wanting to journal, so I was just listening while I was journaling. It was a whole thing. I read 207 pages. Earlier I went on a walk and I listened to a decent bit of Project Hail Mary. I'm almost at the end. I think I have like literally less than an hour left. I'm still reading Less, obviously. I read a decent amount yesterday, but I want to get a decent amount more done today. I'm on page 110. Thursday now. I am kind of front loading my reading for the day in the morning because I'm going to be out with Caitlin all day, so I don't think I'm going to get much reading done, but I'm currently reading Less. I'm on page 190. I started on page 115 this morning, So I'm gonna hopefully finish this before I leave. I only have this much left. And then I also listened to one of the Issa Rae like Amazon shorts on my walk this morning. So that was like 22 pages. And then I will possibly listen to an audiobook when I'm driving over to where Caitlin and I are meeting. So that's more reading time. But yeah, I'm finally almost done with this book, which it's not my favorite. We have officially finished technically our 4th book in this challenge. We finished Less by Andrew Sean Greer. I think I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars. I think the ending really kind of made up for just kind of the indifference I felt about the rest of the novel. I read from 115 to 260. Let me be honest. It's 5 p.m. I can't fail now. I mean, I could, but I don't want to. It's 5 p.m. and I haven't read anywhere near the pages I need to read for today. I think I've read like 10 pages of Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney, which is technically a reread, but I have forgotten a lot of the plot, so I thought I would reread it. I also have the physical copy, so that's what I'm going to spend the next couple hours doing. Officially read the 200 pages that I needed to read today. Was it all one book? Yes. In my head, it kind of felt like a big undertaking just because I don't usually read every single day, let alone 200 pages a day. So I'm really excited that I finished and I accomplished it. I thought we can quickly go through the books that I ended up reading and the pages that I ended up reading every single day. On Sunday, I started with Legendborn and I read 204 pages of it. I also listened to Project Hail Mary for like 20 pages. So in total, I read 226 pages on Sunday. On Monday, I continued Legendborn and I finished it, totaling about 80 pages. And then I also listened to Project Hail Mary and I listened to about 100 pages of that. And then I also started Less by Andrew Sean Greer and I got to page 28, so not very far, but in total I read 206 pages on Monday. On Tuesday, I continued with Less. I only read about 60 pages of this book. And I listened to Project Hail Mary, only listened to about 60 pages of that. And then I also read on my Kindle The Rewrite, which is just like a cutesy little romance. And I read about 80 pages of that. That was a total of 207 pages on Tuesday. And on Wednesday, I finished listening to Project Hail Mary. I gave it 4.75 stars, almost 5 stars, and that was about 100 pages. And then I continued reading Less, which was about 30 pages. And then I continued The Rewrite, which I read about 50 pages of. So in total, I read 201 pages on Wednesday. Thursday, I listened to Playing Well with Others, which is one of Issa Rae's shorts on Amazon, and that's only 22 pages, so yay. I also finished Less. I read about 140 pages to finish this off, and then I also read about 40 pages of The Rewrite, and that total was 206 pages as well. On Friday, I started reading, oh, I don't have that book with me, but I have The Anxious Generation, and I have that physically, so I read about 90 pages of that. And then I finished The Rewrite, and I read about 150 pages of that. And then that totaled up to 249 pages for Friday. And then Saturday, which is today, I started Conversations with Friends. I got from page 1 to page 202. So that equals 202 pages read. So those are all of the stats. In total, I read 1,497 pages, which is literally almost 1,500, and that is crazy. That is like probably the most pages I've read in a week in a long time. So these are 3 physical books that I read, and then I read 2 books on my Kindle and 1 audiobook. So thanks for watching.